Hey guys, thanks for joining us today on New Digs. Today we're going to be continuing our conversation with Carl from Riverside Nursery, and he's going to be showing us some of his favorite shrubs.
So I know our nursery, and I think most nurseries, have sort of a dedicated area for trees and shrubs, so that when customers come in, if they know that's what they're looking for, they can make a beeline for that area. So how about if you give us a tour of your bailiwick up here and show us some of your favorite trees?
I would love
shrubs.
to. I would love to.
Great. Let's go.
But I do have some favorites.
Okay.
In fact, you and I were just talking about this plant the other day. This is hit the market a few years ago, and I planted a few. I keep an eye on them, make sure that they're a good plant. This is Viburnum brandywine.
Okay. Doesn't look like a viburnum as we normally think
Not
of them.
at all. Most viburnum have the dullish, sort of a dull leaf,
This is shiny.
glossy red leaf.
Look at the color.
Yeah.
Talk about fall color. And berries? It's
Yeah,
got
berries.
too.
I mean, it's gorgeous.
I love
And
this.
it's compact. I mean, it's going to get to be 6 by 6, but you're going to get a nice flower. You're going to get a beautiful fruit set until the birds eat it, and
So
you're going to
birds, this is something to bring birds into your
absolutely
yard as well. That's great.
Yeah,
I love the shape. It's very upright. It's not. I don't like things that get all loosey goosey. Yeah, lounge lizardy.
yeah, exactly. And it's compact enough that you can use it in foundation plantings.
So how big is this going to get?
6 by 6.
Perfect.
And once, I mean, it looks a little rangy here, but in the landscape, it fills out. It's a fairly dense plant. I'm really happy with it. It has not disappointed me. It'll do partial shade. The better the sun, the better the fall color, which is true with most plants.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I use that one a lot.
Cool.
Another
else?
plant around here where we have a lot of woods and everybody's property seems to abut the woods. There's
Yes.
a lot of shade issues.
Yes.
A lot of people have shade. And it's hard to find stuff that's going to flower and do well in the shade.
That's true.
This plant here, which is a plethora or summer sweet,
Right.
it is, it'll flower well in the full sun. It'll flower just as well in fairly heavy shade.
Oh, it's flowering now.
It's
I
late
thought
flowering.
these bloomed in like June.
Nope.
So fall flowering.
Fall flowering, very aromatic.
Yeah, I was going to say it's fragrant.
But it does really well in the shade. It's not a super fast grower. It would prefer to be a little moister than drier.
Okay.
The one thing I warn people about is it is late to leaf out in the spring.
Yes. People often happens. They think
Yeah.
it's dead.
Yeah.
They dig it out and just like, nope.
You don't have to call me in early May to tell me it's dead. It's fine. But yeah, I do. I use a lot of summer sweet here because of the shade.
And I know it's a great pollinator too, right?
Oh, the bees love it.
And
it's
this
native.
it's a native plant.
It's
That's what I
native.
was going to say. And many people do want to use native plants. I think that the viburnum is too. No?
It's-
the brandywine.
Its parentage probably
Okay.
is.
Okay.
It is a named variety. I think it's parentage as far as I know.
Interesting.
Um,
I love this.
Yeah. And I had mentioned earlier about fall color. I
Yeah.
mentioned my love of witch hazel.
Oh, I love it.
Witch hazel, another native.
This is. You said this is witch hazel.
Witch hazel, yes. Gets a little bit bigger. I reserve it generally for the shrub border where it can do its thing. Native.
Yeah.
Blooms late winter, early spring. It'll precede forsythia. It'll be the first
And
thing
this
to bloom.
bloom, the flowers will come out before the leaves,
Long
right? So you get
before.
this beautiful
Yep.
yellow, strappy, in this case, yellow. I know there's an orangey form as well.
There is. A little harder to find on the market,
Yeah.
but it's there.
Yeah.
Gillian or Diane.
Yep.
And then it really pays you off again in the fall.
Yeah.
Exceptional fall color.
Oh, so it's going to be orangey.
Orange and reds and yellows kind of swirled together, kind of tie-dyed. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a great plant.
And I think the flowers are fragrant too, right?
They are.
Lightly fragrant.
They are.
In the spring, yeah, it's a great
It's just a good harbinger of spring.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it makes me happy. And you'll see them, I've seen a couple of mature ones. It's just like a mass
Yeah, oh yeah.
of color. And exactly. They just make me happy.
Yeah, I've underplanted those with Helleborus, so they're both in bloom kind of late February.
Oh, that's great.
It's just a nice little. It gives you hope that winter's over.
That's correct,
You know?
which we desperately need in the northwest corner. The
Absolutely.
Ice box.
Oh, you especially.
Yeah, exactly. Where we live.
Yep.
Yep.
Another native.
Yep.
Strangely enough, that I lean heavily on is Sweet Spire or
Okay.
Itea.
Itea.
Itea. if there's a more durable shrub, I don't know if I know it. It has a flower similar to the summer sweet, except it holds it upright and it blooms earlier in the season.
And the flower color is
White.
White. Okay.
A lot of shade tolerant shrubs are white
Tend to be
flowering.
white.
And it gets spectacular fall color. In fact, this has been touted for years as a good replacement for the burning bush.
Euonymus, which in Connecticut I know is invasive.
Is on the invasive list.
Yeah.
But it gets spectacular red fall color. It doesn't get quite as big as euonymus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's durable. You can. I've planted this in the dry shade of hemlocks, which is a death sentence for most plants.
Yeah.
And once it takes root, you're not going to kill it.
Finding plants for dry shade.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's tough. And so Itea, and is this one Henry's Garnet?
I have Henry's Garnet.
Henry's Garnet is always one I've heard about.
Henry's Garnet will get about this big.
Okay.
I also bring in Little Henry, which
Okay.
is more of a 2 to 3, similar in
So
every other aspect.
So that's great for home landscape where you want to use
It
it
is.
in a smaller space. Okay.
It is. So I do use a lot of this because even if it's not a great gardener I'm selling it to that's maybe not going to care for it as
Yeah.
well, have that.
Yeah.
You're not going to kill it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do lean heavily on that one.
And I know that a lot of plants, Little Henry is a great example, there will be dwarf forms.
Oh yeah.
So if someone likes a plant, we can usually say, oh, we have a dwarf form of that over here, rhododendron, hydrangeas,
Right down the list.
all kinds of stuff. And that's great for, again,
for foundation plants.
Exactly.
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 I don't need something that's going to get 8 feet tall.
Correct. And
Foundation.
don't want.
Right.
Show me the Fathergia.
Oh.
Or Fathergilla.
We have to walk around here, okay?
Yeah. So these are the famous Fathergia, and you
Yep.
notice they are front and center in Carl's display.
Yes.
Because they're like your favorite children.
They are. And we're getting to that time of year where they're going to start to show
Yeah.
off.
Like right now, I love the leaf even. I
Yep.
mean, I just think it's a really beautiful, attractive
It's
plant.
very clean.
Yeah.
They don't seem, it's been my experience, they don't seem to get many pests. You don't see
Yeah.
leaf spot on them. You don't see insect damage. They're not the fastest grower in the world. You're not going to plant them and they're not going to get to size next year.
Yeah.
Do
Do they flower? I can't
Oh,
remember.
they flower beautifully.
Ah.
Before they get their leaves, they get a bottle brush.
So it's in early spring.
Early
Okay.
spring. It's a great show they put on. I always say that you only sell Fathergia twice a year, when they're in bloom
Yeah.
and when they're showing fall color.
Yeah.
Um,
And boy, the second they start showing fall
They're
color,
gone.
you can't keep them in here. That's
Yep.
why I've had my eye on one, and I'm thinking I might need to sneak it out of here.
yeah, the fall
So-
color. Even if you set expectations high, it's going to exceed those
Yeah.
expectations, especially in good sun.
Yeah.
Some people plant them and they'll live and do fine in a shadier situation, but you won't get quite the fall color.
Yeah. And as you said, that's true with many things.
with virtually anything.
Yeah.
Mount Airy is the, I believe it's a Michael Durr introduction. It's
Michael Durr is the guy who
he's
wrote
our-
the Bible
Yeah,
of
yeah.
plants and shrubs.
he's the guy.
Big fat. It's DIRR.
DIRR.
Yeah, big fat manual of woody landscape
Yep,
plants.
it's textbook today.
Literally textbook.
Yeah. But this one's going to get 5 feet tall.
Oh.
It stays not super densely branched, a little bit open, but gorgeous twice a year.
Because it looks like it's going to get more horizontal. These at least.
Yeah, it does have somewhat of a little bit of a tiered horizontal branching habit. But like I said, it doesn't get there tomorrow.
Right.
But it's a great addition, and it's small enough and compact enough that it'll fit in most
Yeah,
foundation plantings.
that's perfect.
Yeah, no, it's a great plant.
Yeah. Oh, and how about these gorgeous things right
Oh.
here while we're standing right here?
That's another one of my favorite
Yeah.
children. Oak leaf hydrangea. It's one of the hydrangeas that are overlooked. A lot of people don't know they exist.
And think about it. So oak leaf, that it's aptly named, right?
Yeah.
Because the leaf is shaped like an oak tree. And most hydrangeas just have, I don't know, I'd say their leaves are kind of nondescript. I mean, you
Nondescript.
grow them for the blossoms. Regular hydrangeas are not grown for foliage.
Right.
But these,
These do flower.
Yeah.
They get a panicled, somewhat panicled
yeah,
flower.
big, beautiful. And when you say panicle, you mean it's kind of cone shaped?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But if they never bloomed,
Me too.
they would still be one of my 5 favorite plants.
And they get fall color, right?
Spectacular
They do get
fall
fall color.
color. And depending on the variety, I mean, they have varieties now that will stay 3 to 4 feet.
I was going to say, the scale of these look different.
I have 3 different sizes here. That's how much I don't have 3 different sizes of anything else in this nursery. I have the dwarf, which is going to stay this big. These get to be 5 to 6. And Alice, who's my favorite. Alice will get 8 by 8 in a hurry. Gorgeous.
And so Alice, if you had a woodland garden, put her in the back and then start layering in front of it, and that would hold its own. It's going to lose its leaves, but it's still,
even when it loses its leaves, a mature oak leaf has somewhat peely
bark.
I was going to go with exfoliating, but yes,
peely
bark. So it's not unattractive in the winter.
Oh, I love that peeling.
And the big leaves have almost a tropical feel to them because they're so oversized compared to everything else in the landscape.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I think they're fabulous.
Yeah, no,
we should note they are slow to establish.
Yes.
So, like, if you plant an oak leaf, even a large one, it's going to take a couple of years for it to really own the spot.
Yeah, a lot of hydrangeas. Hydrangea vine is famous for that. So don't.
Yeah, there's a climbing form of hydrangea too, which we love. But boy, that thing is a bully.
Yeah, once it gets established.
It needs like a support, like a big, heavy wooden support for the regular climbing hydrangea.
I mean, I've seen them take over the side of a barn
and
start to rip
boards off. That's right.
So you be careful where you plant it.
Yeah.
But my point being is they do take, a lot of the hydrangeas take a while to establish. Don't be impatient.
Oh, that's really good advice since hydrangeas are so popular.
Yeah.
One thing that makes Riverside Nursery so special is this beautiful location. And you can see here we have a beautiful ornamental bed that runs the length of the property, all planted by us and designed by us. And what it is basically is an educational garden. So we have plants here that we sell. And it's a way for us, if a customer wants to see a plant in situ, wants to see a plant as it's going to be in their own home garden, it's lovely to be able to bring them down here on the property. And we have other beds in the front of the nursery that are also planted with things we sell here. So it's a great way to educate our customers. And we urge people to come down here and just take a walk, and also to come and sit in the lawn chairs and just enjoy the view. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot. Hey guys, so thanks again for joining us today on New Digs at Riverside Nursery in Collinsville, Connecticut.
And a special thanks to Carl for walking us through the nursery and talking to us about all his favorite plants, and I think we really learned a lot today.
I feel like I did too. So guys, thanks again, and we will see you next time on New Digs. Bye.